Believe it or not, this guy actually has friends.
Nice.
This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Team USA bringing home the gold. Yes, sir. Great game, knocking off Canada. The Olympics are now in the rearview mirror. How much of the Olympics did you actually watch outside of the hockey?
I watched every night. My
Did
wife
you
and I
really?
were into it. Yeah, I like going home. I didn't watch all of it, but
Yeah.
I'd watch events here and there that were interesting to me. I like ice skating stuff. The aerials freak me out, but I love them.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone up to Park City in the summertime and see them do the aerials into the pools?
I've not.
You need to do that. Take
Yeah.
your sons. They dig that. So I like that. And then, but to me, the capper was what we were waiting for yesterday, all 2 weeks. And
I know.
they did it. I mean, I can't believe they did it.
That is going to be a signature moment that we're going to talk about for a long, long time. And I think that there's moments in sports you always remember. Like, you always remember, like, if you were alive and old enough to remember the 1980 Miracle on Ice, you remember that. You remember, just signature moments in sports, and that will always be one of them. Like, there's certain games that you'll remember. I'll always remember, John Elway winning that first Super Bowl after getting dump trucked all those times and to actually win one. Like, holy smokes.
The Sam Merrill calls down in Vegas have to be the ones, as far as your Aggie time, that stand out the most.
Yeah, that's probably number one. Being on the sideline and just seeing it, seeing it all develop.
What the hell just happened?
That was the Colorado State game. Yeah. That was a football
similar,
game.
What was you said something with Sam, though. You did say
Sam Merrill is a freaking stud.
that was it.
And then SportsCenter went and turned a graphic out of it.
Of course they did.
So yeah, that was my 10 minutes right there with that one. That was fun.
You got viral 6'7" too.
Yeah, the 6'7" thing kind of took off on me a little bit. But you go back and you look at signature moments in sports, and you were front row for Jimmermania, and I can't imagine what that was like, being a part of, like, essentially. I mean, you were traveling with the Beatles essentially during that year.
It's funny because I coached this weekend. We had a Bantam All-Star event at Delta Center. Utah Jazz have and launched a new league this year for Bantam basketball. And so they had this big event, and I coached a couple of 5th and 6th grade teams. And I told them, during it, they were all just fascinated when they got there and during warm-ups. But one of the girls said in one of the games, she said, I totally forgotten we're playing at Delta Center. And that's kind of how it feels when, like, that whole Jimmer experience, we were just doing our thing. And, and then all of a sudden there became a fishbowl around what we were doing. But it was definitely, as far as runs go, the early Majerus years when he got here and being a part of some of those conference tournament or conference championships. And then we beat New Mexico in the pit in the semifinals of the WAC tournament, worse than they've ever been beat in the pit. I think it still sits today. So you just have these moments that you'll always remember, and you don't always remember every little play, but you remember how it made you feel.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what will be tomorrow. Everybody will remember waking up early and getting around the TV and watching the U.S. win their 3rd gold medal, just their 3rd.
I know.
All time.
Like, I think I want to say, like, in the 60s?
60, 80, and 2026.
Wow. There's going to be a lot of people, too, that slept through it that will always claim that they watched it.
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
Oh, I watched every second. I got the
What do
alarm.
you mean 3-on-3?
Wait, it went overtime?
It did what?
I have no recollection of that. Yeah, I mean, but that'll be great because you can own it. That's fine. Just make up that you watched it.
Are you more into the summer Olympics than winter? Or
Yeah. I'm way more into summer. The track and field stuff I can watch. I don't know. I did not watch it. This was probably the least amount of Olympics I've ever watched. Summer, winter, ever. Like, I I don't know what it was, but this one I had a hard time really latching onto. Now, I can't wait for them to be here in 8 years from now and to see it turn Salt Lake City upside down. And after what we learned in 2002 and then where this community has come and how it's progressed business-wise, and at that point, this renovation downtown should be wrapped up. You already see the difference it's made in the Delta Center in just 1 year. Imagine what this whole area where we're just right across the street. I can't imagine what this is going to look like 8 years from now.
And it seems like momentum's just getting stronger for all that. It's honestly, and I was around the last time. I got to go to a couple events when the Olympics were here. What's neat about it, it just seems like it's uniquely built for this next challenge. Opening up downtown, the venues have all done such a great job at surviving and being used. And so, it's just going to be being able to take what's already been done, and again, that word, but then just making a couple tweaks here and there to make it better. But I love the minds that are involved in it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Got the right minds on it.
You've known Ryan for a long time.
I knew Ryan, I've known him for 10, 15 years.
Before Ryan became Ryan.
Yeah. I mean, the cool part is he's the same guy. He's the same guy. Just got a lot more on his plate. But what sets him apart, and it's really what I experienced over at Delta Center this weekend and what he talks about all the time, is just the community. And those aren't hollow words. I've been working now with the Jazz since November. And the number of little projects that we've gone out and done in my time there, take 2 hours and go do this to help an organization that's trying to do something great locally. Like, that's the coolest part, is that's all very authentic, and they don't just talk about it, they're about it. Yeah.
And there's not a lot that they will say, hey, look what we did.
No.
And, the Millers do the same thing. I mean, those that have really put together the sports landscape here in Utah with the Miller family and with Ryan Smith and Ryan and Ashley Smith, I should say, has been really impressive to see. And the development of what they've done has been really, really, really cool. And so as you look at where this community is going in sports, where it's been, where it's going, winter sports has been huge. But I can't imagine what this hockey situation is going to look like now that the standard has been set on a gold medal. Now it seems like it's going to steamroll. And next 4 years, guess what? The standard has been set. 4 years after that, the standard has been set. And once we as a sports society experience something, it's like, all right, we get greedy. Like, keep it coming. Keep it coming. One gold's good. You know what's better? Back-to-back golds. What's better than that? Back-to-back-to-back golds. Let's dominate this thing.
And the timing's a little bit ironic to this, but the ice center, where the Mammoth practice and the piece that's open to the public, that all opened this weekend. And they were just jam-packed with clinics and people that wanted to try it and do it. So you're right. The timing seems like it's almost perfect. The Mammoth now, get back. Cooley gets a gold medal, which is just so awesome.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they make now a run to try to get into the playoffs. It's crazy how it all kind of dovetails, but it does. And you need to use the momentum of the sport, nationally right now to really do some things here locally to make a difference.
All right. Jay Stevens joined us earlier in the show, and he mentioned that how good this team performed. And it just felt like in good chunks of that game that Team USA was just taking haymaker after haymaker. And just, afterwards, I can't remember if it was, I don't think it was McDavid, but one of the Canadian players said, hey, go watch that game and you tell me if the better team won. Oh, it was McKinnon who said that. And frankly,
McKinnon, who missed an wide open shot.
Yes.
And hit it off the back of the, you couldn't be more open to miss that. Yeah.
But to a certain extent, I get it. Like, if you knew nothing about the teams, and Lloyd, you put somebody right in there and say, who was the better team going into overtime? Who had the momentum? Who was playing the best? I mean, the shots on goal were almost double. It was like 34-18.
If you just watched the second and third period, you would have thought that Canada, and didn't know anything about the score, wasn't looking at the score, you'd be like, oh, wow, Canada's probably dominated.
They just lived in the zone. Yeah. They couldn't get it out.
They were shooting, yes.
But the
USA it seemed like they were on their heels.
but obviously the goalie play was off the chain, and it was so.
Who was a big part of the game, by the way. I don't know if anybody knows that, but a goalie is pretty instrumental to your team.
Absolutely,
it seems like that's a vital part.
Yeah, there's no goalie there. Then hey,
41 saves, right? And I remember in Placid, right, Lake Placid, it was Jim Craig, and he was not supposed to be the goalie. He was a backup, and he just got on a little bit of a heater. But yeah, you've got to have that. You've got to have that protection. And you guys mentioned that crazy save he had. That will be, I'm sure that'll be a poster forever. The way he's spread out and he's got the stick back there. And I didn't even think about the piece of it, how physical you've got to be with all your weight one way and the stick back. So they're incredible athletes. They're massive dudes. That's the part that stands out to me. These hockey guys are big, strong guys. But what a great story, and third time ever. And I would think that this will build and it'll become a little more common.
I think so too. But I do think, to Jay Stevens' point, that you're going to see a situation where there's a lot of people that will watch that as, 6, 7, 8-year-old and be like, I want to do that. You talk about Sam Merrill. Sam Merrill had his dad drag him up to Logan, and he watched J.C. Carroll play. He's like, I want to do what he did. And I want to do it on that level, and I want to do it in that arena. And you tried to recruit him to come to BYU, and he was having none of it because he had those experiences as a kid where he's like, that's where I want to go, and that's where I want to play, and I want to do great things there. If you're able to really sink your teeth into a young generation and have them grow up as fans of a sport and fans of a team, you got to get them at a young age. And there's going to be a lot of youth out there. They're here even locally. Like, if I would watch hockey growing up, I'd be like, oh, that was cool. That was fun. But I have no access to play hockey. I have nowhere to go. I have nowhere to even try to put skates on. I don't even know the first place to go. I had no availability up in the middle of nowhere, Idaho. If you're a kid in Utah now watching it with what the Mammoth have built in that facility and the explosion of the sport here, now you have opportunities to play that. Now, we always say the same thing about soccer. Like, there's a great World Cup. You're like, oh, that's going to get a new generation. No, because guess what? Kids realize that they can't make money playing professional soccer. I mean, you can if you're elite over in Europe, but that's not going to happen. But you look at now hockey, you look at basketball, you're like, okay, I can make money doing that. I mean, we talk about our guy, Hans says all the time, had he been able to make money as a Greco-Roman wrestler, that's what he loved. But you can't make any money doing that. You can't really make a ton of money as a soccer player, but people are seeing hockey, and they're like, okay, I can do that.
Is he more Greco or Roman?
There's a lot of Roman there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what? I don't.
Does it Greco-Roman? Do you wear a singlet?
No, they just do the. I always think of like the dudes in that 300, like just bare chested and just like a little loincloth, and that's about it. That's usually what he would wear around the office a lot. So
I wish he would have gone
until
singlet.
cameras happen.
I wish he'd gone singlet in the camera era, just sitting here with a tank top.
See, I had a high school coach who was our football coach, but he's also a wrestling coach. And he would always say, like, I want you to come out for wrestling. I want you to come out for wrestling. And I'm like, Coach, I'm not wearing that singlet. Like, I'm sorry. But there are some bodies that were made for that. Mine's not one of them.
You say I need a doublet.
Yeah, doublet.
Not the singlet, the doublet.
Maybe we might have to in and out then triple.
The triplet.
A triplet, yeah.
No, but you said this. I remember when the U.S. won in '80 and Mike Ruzioni was the captain, and we would go out and we didn't have hockey, but we tried to figure out a way to, makeshift something. And now, like to your point, with recreation now, all the recreation hubs here in Utah are going to have, whether it's hockey or street hockey, opportunities to go out and compete. So I'm excited to see over the next 10 years, I guess between now, 8 years, next time the Olympics come here, just where we are that much further hockey-wise. Yeah.
I mean, if your grandson came up to you and said, I want to play hockey, you can find ways to, now, was he 4 or 5 years old?
5. He's 5, yes.
5. So, I mean,
yes and no. By the way, because I've looked in, those things, those beginners clinics are jam packed.
Are they really?
They are.
Oh,
You
they
can't get in.
are. They are really hard to get the kids in them. Like,
Is it
and there's
because-
a lot of them, but like everybody is just they're loading up. Like it's packed.
So we are going to see a generation coming out of Utah here pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Wow.
Trust me, I've looked, and because the kids want to check it out and get a feel for it as well, which I want to point them in a different direction because hockey is really expensive,
Yeah.
all the equipment and everything. But yeah, it's packed.
You know, that's why I think that football still does very well is surprisingly, there's not like AAU football. There's not, I mean, you got the 7-on-7 stuff that can rack up the cost, but like I've got a buddy whose son's getting really good at baseball, and the amount of cost
it's
that
crazy.
I mean, there's this travel tournament or this travel team, and you got to pay for this and this and this. And it's a year-round thing, and it's like, my goodness, they'll get you.
The
Don't even get me
commercialization,
started.
the commercialization of youth sports is a huge issue, and honestly, it's one of the things that I love that the Jazz and the Mammoth are trying to do is they're trying to take it to the masses, and they're trying to do it in a way that's feasible. I think you'll see more clinics open up for X-Man and Jackie Blue, and I think Jackie Blue's got it in him to make the game winner. So let's
at least spend some time in the penalty box.
Let's not be discouraged
Dude,
by not
straight
getting in
fire.
a clinic. Let's
Yes.
show some backbone and get them in a clinic. I'm going to help you.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
We'll get Jackie Blue.
You got some connections. You know people.
No, honestly, like I can't remember where I saw your Jessica. I ran into her, and I think it was at she was bringing a car into Tim Daly, and to get it serviced, and so she's got the two boys, and I'm just talking to Jessica, and I look around, and those two kids are just beating the crap out of each other, and like in the middle of a car dealership, I'm like, holy smokes!
I showed you the video of them playing roller hockey in the garage, right?
Yeah.
Where Jackie took him down. Like, I mean, straight dropped the gloves and was fighting. I'm like, geez, man, take it easy, bro.
5-minute major.
Or are you encouraging it?
Not going to lie, there's a little bit of me that might be.
You know, he sits back like, yeah, that's my boys right there.
That's my boy.
And then he's also
Hey, let
like,
go of his jersey. No, I mean, hit him in the face.
he's
Go ahead.
like, I'm Jackie. I'm giving you 3-1 odds.
I went to college with Lloyd. He was one mean dude, so
Oh,
I knew
I
not
bet.
to mess
I bet.
with him. And the boys will be the same.
They will. Jackie's got that edge. He does. He got a little anger in him.
Hey, if
Little
he
ball of
didn't
hate.
have an edge, it would just be Jackie. It's Jackie Blue. He's got a mob name for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yep. All right. You know what? You talk about the youth sports, though. You wonder how, what this next generation is going to look like. I think it's a fascinating idea. I had no idea that it was blowing up here in Utah the way it is. Like I thought it would eventually. I didn't know that the demand was there. Like right now.
Yeah, for sure right now. And I'm with Lloyd. I think it will. You see it. You've seen it. You just talked about Sam Merrill. You know, we've had guys grow up here, go to the NBA, NHL, or NFL. It'd be awesome to have a Utah homegrown Mammoth player. That'd be awesome.
Oof. Yeah, no doubt.
Down the road.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Greatest guitar player of all time?
Yeah, probably. He was so innovative. Do you know
Jimi
he played
Hendrix.
it upside down?
Yeah.
He was a lefty, played a right guitar. So the way that we all play, the strings were reversed. But he was brilliant. I would say he or Eddie Van Halen. I think
Yeah.
they both just changed the way it all went. And so, but this solo, very, very historic.
Woodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Controversial.
Taken way too early from us.
Way too early, but the theme is we won the gold.
We won the gold. God bless America. USA, USA, USA. So the Jazz got the memo from the NBA. Hey, you can't mess with playing time in the fourth quarter. If you're going to shut people down, you have to let everybody know that you're shutting them down. So the Jazz are doing just that, and they're playing nice with all the rules that Adam Silver, the unwritten rules of tanking, and Jusug Nurkic. It's not official from the Jazz yet, but Chris Haynes reporting that Jusug Nurkic will undergo surgery repairing a nose injury that he suffered a few years ago that's causing sleep and breathing issues. and he will most likely be out the rest of the season.
So the impact is obviously the paint. He's been great this year. He's definitely been a huge surprise. There's been lots of good stories with the Jazz this year.
Mr. Triple-Double here, though.
Absolutely. He broke that little he had 3 in a row, almost had 4. And he's just been so good because the offense is really predicated on space, all 5 out. And when you have a 5-man that passes, handles it as well as he does, in the little short spurts he has to, he's really helped this team. Great screener. You have to account for his rolling, but it's his defense that the Jazz and rebounding the Jazz will miss the most.
And just a big body, a big presence that the Jazz just, without Walker Kessler, really needed. And so, I mean, you look at what it looks like without him, and there's not a lot of size there for the Jazz.
No, there isn't. So it'll be difficult to win games.
Oh, well, that's an interesting byproduct of all of this.
Right. But at the same time, I think it's wise because, again, these 25 games are what they are. And the Jazz have been, very outward about this being development time. And so younger guys will get the opportunity. And he's got something that's been lingering that if you understand an NBA schedule, it's hard to deal with that stuff. So to be able to go and do it without the pressure of having to get back and then, what the future holds for him as far as coming back or going somewhere else, that's all to be determined.
If you were to grade, and I'm putting you on the spot here, we didn't talk about this during the break, but a rookie grade for Ace Bailey.
You know what I'd give him? I would probably give him right now probably a B+, and here's why. I think he's got a lot more to his game that can get him to the A territory. But I think, honestly, this year for him is just figuring out how to fit in.
Yeah.
And there's so many stories last year saying, they went after his basketball IQ, his ability to understand how to play. They went after, his willingness to share it or pass the ball. I haven't seen anything this year but a guy who has fit in really well. And, maybe he took the path of, I'm not going to go in there and rock the boat. I just don't know that that the whole chucking thing that was advertised about him is just not real. And I think he's done a great job of finding his spots. It takes time to fit in to a new organization, come in and figure out how to best use your skill. But what really unlocked him was the offense and his ability to be a guy who people forget about because you have Keontae having the year he had, Lowry having the year he had. Nurk had the best year he's had since 23-24. He didn't average double figures 3 straight years and came to Utah, and his average went right up to 11 points a game. He's averaging 10 rebounds a game, which he has not done since 22-23. So Ace was able to, with all this stuff going on, figure out how to navigate 45 cuts, cutting from the weak side. And then from there, it's transitions opened up to him. He's making shots from there. I think he's going to be phenomenal. I said when they drafted him, he'll be an all-star, and I stand by that.
How complex is what Will Hardy asked these guys to do on the offensive side?
Well, it's definitely more complex. It's instead of like rote memorization, it's instinctive and intuitive, and you're really trying to read what the defense is doing. So much a big part of it is like, who's guarding me? Who's guarding Keontae? Who's guarding Nurk? And making sure like there are matchups all over the place that we can exploit. So to be able to space the floor the way they do and really have way more of a motion-based offense with so much cutting up the weak side, so much screening on the weak side, it's just different from what you see night in and night out in the NBA. So I think it's been innovative. I'll bet you there's a bunch of copycats because that's how the NBA works. But I do know it's freed up this roster, and that's what a coach's job is. You want to figure out a way to put your guys in the best position to succeed.
When you look at his future, you look at Keontae's future, we know that Ace has a bunch of steps that he can take. How many, Keontae's not near a ceiling. I can't imagine what the limit looks like for him.
Well, he's not near a ceiling because he's got so many reps to learn from still, so young. But if you just look across, and I'll compare to last year to this year with Keontae because it's pretty mind-boggling. So year one, he scores 13 a game, and he does it on 39% shooting. Okay. Second year, 16.8, again, 39% shooting. This year, he's gone to 23.8. He's shooting 46% from the field, and his best percentage from three, 38%. What he's really added this year, too, he's doubled his number of attempts at the line. So he's more aggressive off the bounce. He's gone from 4 free throws a game to 7. And so you put together his efficiency, his ball handling, distribution, and then that this year has gone. So he's 4-4, 5-6, and he's 6-5 assists now. So I think you just see some incremental growth, but right now it's about figuring out how to lock this level in. And what he had, the advantage he has is he's not the only guy that teams have to worry about. I've always said it, Lauri Markkanen is almost the best number one player you have because he doesn't have to be number one. He can be 1A, he can be 2. He can sting people as a third guy. So I think the way they've made the roster has definitely helped, but Keontae's evolution has definitely raised the ceiling.
All right. You mentioned Isaiah Collier. We talked about him earlier. He had 24 points the other night. This is why I love talking to coaches and players that know the game way better than I'll ever know. I always hear this. There's like a point of no return on a guy's shot where, you can make it a little bit better, but pretty soon Ronnie Brewer is going to be Ronnie Brewer. Like, the shot's not getting any better. So how much improvement can he make as a pure shooter in this league? Or is what you're seeing pretty much what you're going to get?
Well, I think the biggest thing is what you want to look for always is an elite skill.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 in my mind. He's got physically, he's got the burst and the power, which is rare.
Yes.
When you look at him, he's 6'5", 210 pounds, so he's a load. And then he's definitely a guy who, as opposed to kind of feeling the situation out, he's a guy who's getting on a direct line, and he's going to get an advantage. So his ability to use his physical skills to get an advantage, and then his vision, I would call elite. His shooting this year has improved. He went last year from 3, and really I think it's a 3-point shot we got to talk about.
Yes, yeah.
Because he's great at getting into the paint and stop and turning, finding ways to get shots. But this year he's taking 1.6 threes per game, and he's making 30% of them. I've always felt like you get a guy to 34 on a scouting report, that's kind of the respect factor. That's the one where we're not just going to let him shoot him, but he's going to have a period of time here where they're going to let him shoot him. And he made a improvement in the offseason. I would expect him to make another one. And if he could make another one like he did last year, he's 6 percentage points better. He'd, say he gets 3 or 4 better, he's right there at 33, 34.
So you think he can get to 34?
I think he can. Yeah, and I think he's more selective about the ones he takes.
Yeah.
Like his number's down a little bit, but he's still taking almost 2 a game. So he just got to figure out a way to get the ones to go for him. And I know he's relentless in the gym. Last summer he spent so much time, and that's a 6% increase. So it was time well spent. I do believe in the power of daily work, and I think this is something this kid can do.
Yeah. Well, I love talking about this team in regards to winning basketball games. And I know, look, we got 20-some-odd games left, and they need to bottom it out. I would love if they never won another game the rest of this year. But the fact is, we know that this is coming to an end. As soon as that last game goes zeros in April, then it's go time for this Jazz team because they went in on Jaren Jackson, and that signifies we're done. We're done with the losing. Now, that will begin next year, but the fact is, if you're a Jazz fan, you can take a lot of solace knowing that you've gotten through it, and now it's about winning games, and that begins next October.
And really, you look at these 25 games left. Look at that as an opportunity for a lot of guys to get a lot of minutes that haven't gotten a lot of minutes, particularly impactful minutes. And I mentioned a guy like Oscar Tshiebwe. Talk about an elite skill. His elite skill is rebounding the basketball. So, you put him into minutes and see what he looks like. Bryce Sensabaugh continues to work on the things he's got to work on, defense being number one. Flip's now going to have the challenge again to have to guard centers every night.
Yeah.
That's made him tougher. His rebounding numbers have gone up because he's had to do that. You don't love it for him, but it is what it is. And so you use all these minutes as almost a preseason.
Yeah.
To your point, you're getting most of these guys back. With Nurk out now, especially, you don't know what his future is, but most of these guys that are going to get these minutes will be back. And so it's an opportunity to look at them very, very closely for, 25 games to be able to have even more clear idea of what you want to do next year.
Yeah. All right, we'll wrap up this bad boy next. That's Tim Lacombe. I'm Scott Gerard. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Scotty G and Friends on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, wrapping up another edition of the show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Big thanks to Tim Lacombe hanging out with us today. A lot of hockey talk. We don't do a lot of it, but when we do, look, when Team USA brings home a gold, we're going to talk some
about
hockey. Hell yes. Crazy Canadians. Take that silver medal. See what that and a Tim Horton cup of coffee gets you these days. Nothing.
I had boysenberry syrup yesterday in protest.
Oh yeah, no maple in the Lacombe house.
Boysenberry.
Wasn't it after the women, the USA women beat Team Canada? Team Canada's their Twitter account put out silver shines just as bright.
Oh no, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
That's a very Canadian
Google
thing.
it. Yes.
Oh, silver shine. No, it doesn't.
Dudley Do-Right standing right next to the silver.
That's a
can't win, don't try.
That is a very loser mentality right there.
So
How often you been to Canada?
A few times.
You went to Toronto
I was just there.
ago.
I spent 16 hours in Toronto a couple of weeks ago.
What's it like to be the fill-in there? You get that call.
It's
the different phone rings.
So I get a text from our guy Jeremy Bruner, and Utah State's playing San Diego State. Huge game, but fortunately for me, it was an 11 a.m. start, and we're about midway through the first half. And there's some people that when they text you, you're like, okay, we can deal with that later. It's Lloyd. We'll get back to that.
No, you do that to me.
No, not intentionally. But
come again? Say that again.
Yeah, it's not important. Like anyway,
it's more important. Yeah,
but you get a text from Jeremy Bruner. You're like, okay, I gotta see what's up there. And so in the middle of the call, I look over at the phone and it says, hey, couple questions. Number one, do you have a passport? And I said, yes. And he said, number two, if I get you on a red eye tonight, can you call a game in Toronto tomorrow for the Jazz? And my response was, hell yes, let's go. And sure enough, we were got done with that Utah State game, went home, grabbed a suit, headed off to Toronto, and called that Jazz Toronto game.
The best part of the story for me was it was 1 o'clock day of game.
Yeah.
And it was a back-to-back. They'd played the night before. So, you get used to who's doing what. And I get a text from Scotty on my way to Salt Lake saying, hey, man, I'm doing the game today. And I'm thinking, what? Where's David? What happened? But what happened was Bowler got a little laryngitis.
Yep.
And the one thing, Bowler's got a lot of good traits, but let's be honest, it's that voice.
Oh, yeah.
You and he both, just golden tones.
I don't have the dimples and the head of hair the Bowler has, but
you can't have it all.
We have a pretty good voice.
Or else you'd be Bowler Jack.
Yes.
But anyway, he had laryngitis. I get up to the studio, and sure enough, my boy Scotty's on the call and did a phenomenal job. So you have been to Canada.
I have been to Canada. So, by the way, Lloyd, I can't believe they still have this up. I would have taken this down.
Absolutely. I was like, what?
Silver shines just as bright. No, it does not. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I got into it with Christian a little bit because he's like, we talked about the question, did you win 2 silvers or did you lose 2 golds? And I was like, well, you lost 2 golds. I feel like that's what happened.
All that glitters
Don't get me
is
wrong.
not gold.
Winning a silver is nice. It's very nice.
Oh,
nice
yeah.
accomplishment. Absolutely. But it's not winning.
Yeah, wasn't Christian sticking up for the
Yes. He was sticking up for the winning of the silvers.
Yeah, the Chinese. She's American, but was competing for the Chinese team.
Yes,
yeah,
he was.
I'm the most decorated freestyle. Whatever she does, I don't know. That's
she
the
was
thing.
amazing, though.
She was.
I did
absolutely.
watch
She did get a
those.
gold.
Yeah,
She did get
absolutely.
She did get a gold. Should have had 3
As an
golds,
American
probably.
or as a for China?
For China.
Okay.
0.00000009 are the odds that you'll win a gold medal.
Look, if you win a silver, that's great. That's
It is
awesome.
nice.
But-
Absolutely. But it does not
but
shine
it's not
as
a
bright.
gold.
It
No.
does not shine as bright as gold.
No, there's a
Unless you
standard
shine
there.
light on it and put the gold in a dark room. But that's the only way it
Yes.
would.
Cute, though.
Yeah, it's cute. It's nice, but when you're at a party, do you actually bring out the silver medal or do you bring out the gold medal? You want to bring out the gold.
Yeah.
You put the silver medals holding the hot dish.
Yes,
I think
that's
they learned their
yeah.
lesson because I don't think they didn't tweet that after the men won.
Oh,
silver.
no.
They did not tweet that then.
No. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.